Hi, welcome back to Scentuality. Today I am going to share something in the spirit of creativity.
Struggles teach us nothing, well nothing we can tell. We all just feel like victims and we're dying in a cell. We're all so fucking sick, but I wish that we were well.
Now, oftentimes when you are making perfume, you get to a point in your formula and you really don't like how it smells and you decide to give up on it. Now, if you've just used naturals, you can, recycle these oils in something like soap, or you can put them in an oil burner and you don't really have to waste them, you don't have to throw them away. But if you've used synthetic molecules, if you have aroma chemicals in there, there's not really a lot you can do with it other than, pour it down the sink, so to speak. But in the spirit of creativity, something that you can do is mix those formulas together, mix 2 or 3 of them together if you want, and just see what you get. I'm not guaranteeing that this is going to smell nice, but it will teach you something. You'll be able to observe what happens. You'll be able to observe what blends well together. You will discover some new things. You will get some fresh inspiration, because I think it's essential with creativity to keep changing the goalposts every now and then. You have to just try something out in the spirit of creativity, in the spirit of fun. You have to keep things fresh. You have to keep looking at things from a new perspective. The nature of creativity is it's not stagnant, it's ever changing, it's always morphing into something new. So something that I did earlier today was I took 2 perfumes that I was working on where I got to the point where I didn't really want to continue. Now, one of these perfumes was a Nag Champa themed perfume. I was trying to recreate the smell of Nag Champa, and I got the idea from Lauren in the comments section, and she shared that she was researching Nag Champa to find out exactly what went into Nag Champa incense. So I was sort of working on something along the lines of Nag Champa incense, but I wasn't really happy with it. It was quite boring. It didn't smell like Nag Champa, so I decided I would go back to the drawing board. The other perfume was a perfume that I mentioned in a couple of videos, my previous videos, where I had used a champignon oil. Now, I was very happy with my initial formula, which was very simple, but since it's been a while since I smelled it, now I got some fresh inspiration and I just decided to add some more notes. I added some more oils, but got to a place where I really wasn't happy with it. I didn't want to continue, so I just decided I would just throw it away. But as I said, in the spirit of creativity and just wanting to see what happens, I decided to blend those 2 perfume formulas together, and I was very pleasantly surprised because everything blended beautifully. I would say that everything still smelled quite dissatisfying. It was just boring, didn't have anything interesting in there. It didn't really have a soul, so I really, I definitely wasn't going to keep it. But I also had some of that, the musk-based perfume that I made a few days ago. I made a video about it. I had some of that formula just sitting there on the desk, so I decided to blend that with it as well. So it had 3 different perfumes in there. And again, I was very pleasantly surprised. Everything blended beautifully, very linear, very smooth, but still boring. So something I'm not going to keep. But when you do this, you can, you sort of get an insight that you wouldn't get normally, because if you think about it, these are 3 complete perfumes. You've got base notes, heart notes, top notes. They're all very differently themed. They all accent different notes, and maybe you combine a few perfume formulas together where you wouldn't particularly have combined those different fragrances, like those specific notes, together if you were just making one perfume. So sometimes it can really open your eyes to the possibilities, because sometimes we are very grounded in how we look at certain things. We get stuck looking from a certain perspective. And with creativity, it's always good to keep things moving along, because you know the nature of creativity isn't stagnant. It's forever morphing, it's always changing, and you also need to change. You also need to step out of your comfort zone. You also need to, you know, just, it's the only way you can get fresh inspiration. It's the only way you can keep creativity free. So, you know, it's a great thing to do, especially if you're just going to throw those oils away. It can really show you something that you know, your eyes have been closed to before. It can just give you some real inspiration, because what I learned was, you know, I had a lot of smoky notes in the champignon perfume, and the musk-based perfume was very, very feminine, very, very beautiful, and I kind of thought that that would be the dominant smell in the perfume, but everything's really, you know, it's blended very well. And I think that's what makes it boring, because there's nothing really sticking out, and yeah, it's just very boring to smell. But it kind of opened my eyes to the possibilities of what I can do with the smokiness factor, or you know, it kind of gives you a little bit of insight into how you can make something in one perfume work, because you know, blending it with this perfume, if you analyze the oils that you've used, it can sort of, you know, create new avenues, and you can get fresh inspiration about how to improve this perfume by using a few things in that perfume. And you know, it just, you know, opens the door for fresh inspiration, gives you lots of new ideas, and can just really, you know, set you down the right path to improve all three of these perfumes even. You know, it just gives you so many new ideas. So I think it's a great thing to do, especially if you're going to just waste, you know, perfume formulas. If you're just going to throw them away, why not just blend them together, see what happens, study the results, and you know, it's definitely going to open up fresh inspiration inside of yourself. It's definitely going to make you more creative, and it's just going to keep that momentum going. So that's all I wanted to share today. I'll be back shortly with another one. As always, thanks for watching, and have fun making perfume.